Hey there and welcome. We're going to talk about something that holds, well, pretty much all of us back at some point. It's this feeling that we have to be perfectly ready before we can start anything that really matters. So today, we're going to dismantle that idea. We're going to figure out why we feel this way and, more importantly, how to finally break free. Let's get right into it. So be honest for a second. Have you ever told yourself something like, okay, I'll start that business just as soon as I have enough money? Or maybe I'm going to learn that new skill, when I finally have more time. Or the big one, waiting until you feel like you know enough before you take that big leap. I mean, if any of that sounds even a little familiar, you are definitely not alone. The thing is, you've just walked right into one of the biggest traps out there. All right, here's the game plan. First, we're going to break down this ready trap. Then, we'll get into the science of why our brains love to wait. After that, we'll look at some amazing stories of people who started way before they were ready. And we'll wrap it all up with a toolkit you can literally use to get started today. Okay, section 1, the ready trap. It's this comfortable illusion that just stops us cold. So what is it really? Well, it's that little voice in your head, right? The one that sounds so reasonable, so responsible. It's whispering, just prepare a little more, you're not ready yet. But here's the truth. Most of the time, that's just a form of self-sabotage. It's a cozy little comfort zone that keeps us from ever actually starting. And here's the thing about readiness. It's a moving target. It's like you're chasing the horizon. The closer you think you are, the further away it gets. I mean, check this out. There's this story about an entrepreneur who wanted to launch an online business. His first goal? He needed $100,000. Okay, fair enough. But then he hit it. And suddenly he decided he needed $200,000, for a safety net. Then $300,000. As of today, this guy has $900,000 sitting in his account, and he still hasn't started. Now he's afraid of losing all that money if his business fails. You see, the finish line just keeps moving further and further away. And this quote, wow, this just hits the nail on the head. I realized I wasn't preparing, I was hiding. This comes from someone who put off starting their project for nearly 2 years. And the excuses, they sounded totally logical. I need a better camera. I need a better mic. My skills aren't quite polished enough. I need the perfect workspace. The list just went on and on and on. But when they finally got honest with themselves, the realization was so simple. All of that wasn't preparation. It was hiding. Waiting to feel ready was just a way to protect themselves from actually doing the thing. So why do we do this? Let's get into the psychology of it all. And here's some good news. This hesitation, this waiting, it's not some personal flaw. You're not just lazy. It's actually hardwired into our psychology. There are very real, deep-seated reasons our brains would much rather wait. And the cool part is, once we understand them, we can actually start to outsmart our own brain. Okay, so at the most basic level, your brain is a survival machine. That's its number one job, keep you safe. It loves comfort, it loves predictability, and it absolutely hates risk. So when you think about starting something new, a business, a new project, learning a skill, that is by definition risky. It's the great unknown. It's packed with the potential for failure. And to that ancient lizard brain part of you, that feels like a saber-toothed tiger lurking in the bushes. Its immediate reaction is to hit the brakes and keep you safe. A big part of this is driven by something called loss aversion. It's a quirky little bias in our brains. Basically, scientists have found that the pain of losing something feels about twice as strong as the pleasure of gaining the exact same thing. Think about it. Losing $100 feels way worse than how good it feels to find $100. So when we're thinking about starting a new venture, our brain immediately starts making a list of everything we could lose: our time, our money, our effort, even our reputation. And that potential pain is so intense that it often just paralyzes us. Doing nothing suddenly feels like the safest, smartest move. And then there's good old perfectionism. We love to dress it up as a positive trait, right? Oh, I just have high standards. But let's be real. A lot of the time, it just means our standards are so impossibly high that we're doomed from the start. We get so terrified of creating something that isn't absolutely flawless that we end up creating nothing at all. It's the ultimate form of procrastination because, hey, what's the easiest way to guarantee you never make a mistake? You guessed it, never even start. And this one is huge: imposter syndrome. This is that little voice that whispers, you're a fraud, you don't belong here, any minute now everyone's going to figure you out. And you know what? Even the most successful people on the planet feel this. The incredible author Maya Angelou once said that after she had written 11 books, she would still think to herself, uh-oh, they're going to find me out now. I mean, if Maya Angelou felt that way, it's more than okay for the rest of us to feel it too. The secret isn't to not feel it. The secret is to not let that feeling stop you. So really, all of this boils down to your mindset. And this comes from the amazing work of psychologist Carol Dweck. If you have a fixed mindset, you basically believe your talents and abilities are carved in stone. That's it. So any challenge is a threat, and failure is just proof that you're not good enough. That's when you say, I'm not ready. But if you have a growth mindset, you believe your abilities can be developed, through hard work and practice. You actually embrace challenges. Failure isn't a verdict, it's just an opportunity to learn. Your internal script flips from I'm not ready to I'm ready to learn. And honestly, that little shift, it changes absolutely everything. All right, we've unpacked the psychology behind why we wait. Now for the fun part. Let's look at some real-world proof that this works. We're about to dive into some stories of incredible founders who became household names, not because they were perfectly prepared, but because they had the guts to start messy. So let's kick things off with Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. Now, before she built a literal billion-dollar empire, you gotta understand where she started. She wasn't some fashion icon or a business school genius. Nope. She was selling fax machines door to door. And her whole idea came from one simple problem. She just wanted to look better in a pair of white pants. That's it. I mean, just look at this list of what she didn't have. No fashion degree, no business background, zero experience in the industry. She didn't even know how to get a patent or create a marketing plan. By every single traditional measure, she was completely 100% unready. All she had was an idea that came from taking a pair of scissors to her pantyhose. And get this. She didn't wait around for some big venture capitalist to give her $1 million. She started the whole thing with just $5,000, her own savings. She figured out everything she needed to know: patent law, manufacturing, sales, on the fly. She didn't wait until she was an expert to start. She became an expert because she started. Okay, here's another one for you. Michael Dell. He founded Dell Computers. His world headquarters? Not some fancy high-rise in Silicon Valley. It was his college dorm room. As a freshman, the guy didn't even bother waiting to graduate before he started building a global tech empire. And again, let's look at the unready list. He didn't have a college degree. He didn't have a formal office. No venture capital funding. He didn't even have a polished 10-point business plan. He just had an idea. He saw a better way to sell computers, build them to order, and sell them directly to people, and he just started doing it, right then and there. His starting cash? Just $1,000. Money he'd made himself from upgrading computers for people. These two stories, they tell us the exact same thing, don't they? Success isn't about having all the answers before you start. It's about having the courage to start with whatever you've got right where you are. Okay, so we've seen the trap, we've seen the psychology, and we've seen amazing proof that starting unready is the way to go. Now for the most important part of all. Let's turn all this inspiration into action. Here is your practical toolkit to break the cycle and finally get started. All right, 4 simple but super powerful rules. Let's go. Number 1, the 70% rule. Forget waiting for 100% of the info. That's a myth. As soon as you're about 70% of the way there, it's time to go. Number 2, break it down. Don't stare at the whole giant mountain you have to climb. Just ask, what is the tiniest first step I can take, and do that. Number 3, create an MVP, a minimum viable product. Launch the simplest, most basic version of your idea just to get it out there and get some real feedback. And number 4, the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to do, just do it right now. Don't even think about it. And this is so important. We have to completely change how we think about failure. This quote from Thomas Edison is everything. When a reporter asked him about his 1,000 failed attempts to invent the light bulb, he had the best response. He basically said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. He saw every failure as just one more step in the process. See, failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a crucial part of the road that gets you there. And that really brings us to the core of it all, doesn't it? The real loss isn't failing. The real loss is the opportunity you miss out on because you never even started. We're so scared of what we might lose if we try and fail, but when you choose to wait, you are guaranteeing a loss. You're losing time. You're losing the chance to learn. You're losing the opportunity itself. The risk of doing nothing is almost always way, way bigger than the risk of doing something. So let's just leave it with this final thought. Nobody starts out great. Not Sarah Blakely, not Michael Dell, not anyone you admire. Greatness isn't something you need before you start. It's something you earn by starting. Look, your first try at whatever it is, it's not going to be perfect. It might not even be that good. But you know what it will be? A start. And a messy start is infinitely more powerful than perfectly waiting to do nothing at all. So the only question left is, what are you going to start today?